It's £10, and I've played for what, 3 hours or something like that? About 3 hours, maybe a bit more there. And it seems like if you really wanted to get maximum out of it, get the achievements, and in fact, I think there's an ending where you wait 4 hours or something like that. I'm not sure. Like the baby game one, I think you actually get an achievement or an ending for doing that. I can't remember what it was. Like I say, I only skim-read the information, and then it's like, windowsill fucking ending. I'm like, the fuck? Watch the video for that. And it's like, oh, okay. I see. I'm almost dented my pride that I didn't think to kind of like exploit the map and get out of bounds like that. It almost hurt my pride a bit. But it's £10 and you're gonna get like, if you get a decent, if you actually play the game and do it how it wants, you know, you're gonna get at least 3.5, 4 hours out of it, maybe more. But let's just say an average about 4 hours. Let's call it 4 hours. I mean, I know my playthrough of it wasn't 4 hours, but that's because, I mean, I'd have to, it's going to require research and like, well, we've got to go for this ending and this ending and this ending and this ending at the end and stuff like that. So it's kind of like artificial outside of my usual playthrough methods, you know, of being blind and stuff. I mean, this ending bit was a bit weird, really. Finishing it, in my opinion, and then going back with more information and adding on an extra little bit. Although, like I say, if my ending hadn't been screwed up, I'd have gone, well, I did say my ending rambled, you know, officially it's finished and stuff. I'm sure there's other endings, but there may be a bolt-on part, but probably not. Like I said, I do prefer the blind route. But let's just say it's £10 for 4-ish hours. I'd say an average of 4 hours. You might get less, you might get 3 hours and be satisfied. You might get 5 or 6 hours out of it. But an average seems to be about 4 hours, let's call it, 4 hours. So £10 for 4 hours. Now you say, ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, 'cause, you know, it's kind of like one shot, innit? But when you think about it, average kind of game length for a £30 to £35 game nowadays is about, what, 10 hours for 35 quid, £30? So really, it's on par, innit? Maybe slightly above. You're gonna get like, say you could just triple it to get up to a AAA price of £30. You'd get 12 hours out of it, wouldn't you? So that's not bad, and like I say, that's like the minimum really. Like, I mean, the entire point of the game is to get as many branching paths, or all of the branching paths and endings as you can. So 3 to 4 hours for £10, even if you say like, call it 3.5 hours, you're still getting over 10 hours for £30. Like I say, it's at least on par with AAA for single player. It's at least on par. Like you say, oh, it's not great, I don't think 10 hours, a 10-hour campaign for £30 is that great. It's like, well, you know, fair enough, but I'm just saying, like, it's on par. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but it's on par. But like I say, I'd rather have, like, a quality experience rather than, like, they just added, like, another 10 endings that were going to take you another 3 hours, but the dialogue was crap, the narration was crap, it wasn't very witty or funny in that, you know, those branching paths. They literally added it so that you got a guaranteed 6 hours out of the game. You know, quality over quantity, yeah? The Stanley Parable, though, quite difficult to explain to somebody. I guess it's a narrative-driven first-person experience, which is, it's like, eh? It's like, I'm sure there's probably better ways of describing it, but it is a unique one. That's what I was saying. There's not many games that come out each year that are genuinely unique, that do its own kind of thing, and I enjoy this one. I thought the Half-Life 2 mod was great, and I think this is great. It's the same as the Half-Life 2 mod, but bigger and more expanded and better. It's more of the same, but amplified. I think I said earlier on today, it's more of the same, innit, but amplified up. All the set pieces are nicer, the narration was well done in the Half-Life 2 mod, but I think it's done even better in this. He managed to make excellence even more excellent, I guess is a way of putting it. Really nothing bad to say about it. There really isn't. Like I say, the only possible gripe is, you could say, I don't like 10 hours for £30, hence I don't like 3 to 4 hours for £10. It's like, well, that's fair enough, that's fair enough, but you know, I don't think it's that bad personally, I really don't. If it's a quality experience, I don't mind it. I mean, shit, it costs you, I mean, let's take cinema for example. It's going to cost you the better part of a tenner to go see a movie at the cinema for what, an hour and a half, 2-hour movie? Even if you say it's a 3-hour movie, it's costing you a tenner for a movie. And I've got to be honest, man, I found this way funnier and way more engaging than going to the cinema and watching some fucking summer blockbuster, quote marks, dreck. So, I mean, like I was saying, there's very few games that come out each year that are very unique and engaging like what this has been. There's even fewer films that come out each year that are worth going to the cinema to see. I am not a big fan of the cinema nowadays. I really ain't. I think it's fucking shite. I'm amazed the cinema industry is still doing well. Absolutely amazed. But, like I say, it's a difficult one to explain. It really is a Stanley Parable. But, like I say, like, if you're giving it fair criticism and stuff like that, then there's nothing but praise for it. With a minor note about, you know, like, if you're gonna get bent out of shape about 3 or 4 hours for a tenner, maybe wait for a Steam sale. But other than that, like, that's the only legitimate gripe I can say about it, and I don't think it's that bad personally. I don't think it's not a gripe for me, but, you know, stepping back in other people's shoes and stuff like that, I could see some people not being that happy about 3 or 4 hours. But like I say, you can extract more out of it. You can get about, I bet you could get about 5 or 6 hours out of it if you went for every achievement and you went for every ending. I bet you could scrape about 4 or 5, maybe more hours out of it. So I think it's fine, mate. Like I say, it's at least on par. You can't complain at it for not being on par with AAA games. And I know it's not a AAA game as such, but, you know, it is. Certainly got the quality of one, in my opinion. But it's like I say, it's one of those weird games as well, like very spoiler heavy if you're watching videos of it. It's very rare that you do videos for a game and you would say, this actually spoilers it quite heavy compared to most games. Like 99 games out of 100, it really does not matter. You're still going to get more out of playing the game than what you are out of watching it. You know, it's still recommended you go out and buy it and play it if you enjoyed watching it. But with this one, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because it's very spoiler heavy. It's an experience best served to you directly the first time. And then you can go watch videos and, you know, oh, I remember that ending and stuff like that. Yeah, I know what kind of ending is going for here and stuff like that. See how that person plays it blind. Which is why I'd be adding a warning at the beginning. But it's a very rare... I cannot think of another game off the top of my head that would be that spoiler heavy. I've heard that Antechamber is best played blind as well. Like, don't watch anything to do with it, which I still haven't. Don't, like, watch anybody else's videos. Play it yourself the first time. So I'm looking forward to that now. After playing this, and, you know, I think I'm going to do Antechamber sometime soon as well. But a very fun and engaging game there. Very well crafted. The narration was fantastic. The set pieces were bigger. The routes were more obvious, and there's more of them, I believe. Everything was bigger and better. It really was. Like I say, zero complaints to field against the Stanley Parable standalone. Very, like I say, the only one, I keep saying the only one I could voice was like the price, and even then, not me. Not for me personally. I wouldn't. I mean, I was gifted this, so. But like I say, I like to take a step back. Like even if I'm gifted a game, or even if like a developer has sent me the game, I start to take a step back and it's like, what if I'd paid money for this game? And money means a lot to me. Don't grow on trees. So I like to take a step back and go, if I'd paid full price for this game, would I still have this opinion? You know, you've got to take... I think price is often just completely skipped over by a lot of reviews and a lot of critique. It's just not taken into effect. It's like, oh, this game is great, and blah, 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 like all 7 hours of it or something like that, and no replayability for £35. You know, you've got to take that into effect. It might have been a quality experience, and like I say, I value, like, the quality over the quantity. But there's a limit, you know, if you're only getting 6-7 hours for like £35, there's a limit in there, and you've got to voice that complaint. It's a legitimate one. And then there's the reverse of that, where you'll probably get like you know, 8 or 9, 10 hours, it's not the highest quality experience, but it's only costs like £4, £5, £6. So you've got to cut it some slack on that front as well and go, look, it's not the height of gaming excellence, it's not the longest game neither, but at the same time, it's one of the cheapest games that you're going to get, short of getting it in a bundle or anything like that, short of getting it in an indie bundle. So you've got to be fair, and you know, you wouldn't compare a Skoda to a Ferrari in the same kind of category, would you? And I'm not saying, like, you know, I'm certainly not saying that Indy is the Skoda compared to AAA's Ferrari. If only, that's what it should be. But it bloody isn't. Indie games are quite capable of Ferrariism. And AAA games are fucking Skoda central. It's a Skoda showroom, is AAA lately. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a few games a year that are worth playing and are good and stuff like that, AAA, but generally, it's a Skoda showroom with a few Ferraris in there, and you go, well, that's strange, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I agree, that is strange. I mean, you walked in there expecting Ferraris, and it's just all Skodas. It's a sea of Skoda. That's actually quite an old bullshit joke, is that Skoda is actually quite good nowadays. It's quite an old one, where Skoda used to be shit and stuff like that, and blah blah blah, and but it's not like that nowadays. I don't think you can actually say. I'm just using it as an example and as a joke example and stuff like that. But AAA across the board is genuinely quite crap nowadays. I have very little faith in AAA. I put all my faith in indie games, and indie games always deliver. There is many games that come out a year for indie that fulfill all categories. Do you want a cheap and cheerful platformer? There you go. Do you want a bargain bundle worth of indie games? There you go. Some are great, some are average, some ain't so good. But there's always something to fulfill every category very well. And then there's these gems that come out each year, these indie diamonds, of which I would consider this one of them. You know, there's these gems that come out and they just put AAA to shame. They really fucking do. I can't remember where I was going with that to begin with. I went off so long on the Skoda and Ferrari bullshit. I've completely forgotten the original point. It's been lost in the bullshit. It has. It's been lost in the bullshit. I think it was something to do with price, and it's something to do with price. You know better than I do. You got better memory. But it was something to do with price and stuff like that, and like I say, I think price is skipped over quite a lot. And I do take myself, like, you know, you take a step back and into the shoes of somebody that may have, like, say, I mean, I buy games as well. I buy some games, I'm gifted some games, I'm given keys by developers for some games. And I always take a step back and think, what if I'd pay for this? 'Cause I think that's the best critical route to take, as if you'd paid for it. If you're going to be talking about a game, recommending it or condemning it, generally I don't condemn the games because I only play games that I think I'm going to enjoy. I think that's a good route to take. If I'm going to be playing a game for a long time, I want to be enjoying it, especially if I know that at the end of it I'm going to be talking about the game and giving me a critical opinion about it. I like to think, well, you know what? If you ain't got no good to say, then don't say no at all. If you don't think you're going to enjoy the game, don't waste your time. You know, I like to have fun playing games. I like to talk nice things about games and stuff like that. I want to enjoy the game, hence generally it's always going to be good things that I'm going to say about it. If I see bullshit, I'm going to call it. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to go into a game thinking that I ain't going to enjoy this. I think this game is going to be shit. I can't wait to lay into this motherfucker. And I could. You've seen me lay into shit before. Oh, I can lay into stuff. But that's just generally not the route that I take. Like I say, I play games to enjoy them and have fun with them. So generally, like, when it comes to talking at the end and having a ramble and an opinion about it, it's generally going to be a positive one. And, you know, there might be a few caveats here and there, you know, like, oh, I didn't think this was great, and this may not be great, depending on who you are. I try to, like, you know, cover all bases, let's say. Cover all bases. Like I say, personally, £10 for 3 to 4, even if you just say 3 hours for £10, that's fine by me. If it's a quality experience and I've enjoyed it, like I say, you can fucking go to a cinema and only get 1.5 hours, 90 minutes to 3 hours for your tenner, at least. Depending if you buy any of their bullshit fucking price drinks and popcorn and shit like that. So I consider, like I say, it's on par. At the very least, you say Stanley Parable's price versus time is on par. Its quality and content, you know, the engager of the engagingness of the game and the dialogue and narration and, you know, just the fun of it is definitely above par. Easily. Like I say, an indie diamond this year, most definitely. Very good, very recommended, no doubts whatsoever. I do hope, if you planned to play this, that you heeded the warning at the beginning and actually did play it and then watch this. I do hope so. Like I say, very few games come along like that. It's like, look, play the thing first and then watch videos. Very few games come along like that. This is one of them, definitely. And I don't think videos hurt this, as long as the viewer had an informed decision beforehand, had some decent information beforehand, and gauged, like, you know what, this is a game that seems like I'm going to have more fun if I play this myself first. So I'll leave that entirely in your own ballpark. I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. Some folk are like, I ain't going to buy a game until I've seen somebody playing it. Or seen a review of it, and, you know, like, so I can gauge whether I want to buy it or not, which is entirely fair enough. And other folks always go by the rule of, I ain't watching somebody play a game until I played it myself. So either way, you know, it's entirely in the consumer and the viewer's ballpark is that one, so I'll leave that one up to you. Either way, I don't think any amount of videos would hurt the Stanley Parable. It's doing very well in reviews, it's doing very well in overall opinion by folks, and no videos are going to hurt this game. It's going to be... It's done well for itself, it will continue to do well for itself, and I sincerely hope they either do some kind of add-on. I'm not sure, I couldn't even fathom how they would do that. I have no ideas how they would even go about doing that without actually hurting the main game. Maybe just adding some branching paths and go, we've added some passing somewhere, figure them out, maybe some doors open up here and there. I guess there is room, there's a few lot doors here and there, isn't there? There's definitely, like, you could add stuff here and there and stuff like that. I mean, what about that vent? What was that about? You can't even get to a vent. Anyway. Or at least they do another parable. The Stephen parable or something like that. I don't know. They could definitely do another parable maybe and stuff like that. I think Galactic Cafe has proven they can make a damn good mod that did well. That set them up to do a damn good game on their own. And after, I mean, I think this is scoring something like 90 on Metacritic, which is damn good for an indie game. Very good. It's good for any game. For an indie game, that is like I said, it's an indie diamond, basically. That is very, 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 very good. So I don't think they will struggle to have the funding for their next game, and I am glad, because this company has crafted an excellent game, and I hope they bring the narrator with them on their future games. I hope they have some kind of ongoing relationship. Like Galactic Cafe, you always know that Mr. Brighting is going to be there with them, narrating some kind of game, or in there in some capability and fashion. As I say, guys, in a nutshell, very engaging, very witty, very funny. The same as Half-Life 2 mod, but amplified up to a very good degree. Didn't lose any charm whatsoever, only layered it on thick. Even more thickly than the original. Price may be a concern, but to be honest, it's a bargain. At 50% off at a $5, it's a bargain. And at a $10, it's on or above par for what you'd usually pay at 10, 20, 30 pounds for. So, really, not any complaints at all. It just depends on your budget and how you feel about 10 plus hours for £30. So like I say, if you divide it by 3 to £10, you're getting 3 or 4 hours, maybe more, 4 or 5 hours, at which point, you know, it's above par. If you say 4 hours, it's above par. For say 5 or 6 hours, which you might be able to do if you really go hunting for those endings and, you know, you want all 18, then yeah, you're probably going to get it. You're probably going to get that amount of time. Like I said, I've probably got on 12 or 13 there. The other 5, like I said, I didn't research much. I researched the Windowsill ending, I skim-read over the rest of it. Oh, there's a broom closet ending. I think there's an escape pod ending. There's an ending where I think you could... Oh, I was saying there's something to do with those computers I heard. And I think there's an ending where you can take a delivery of cardboard boxes, and then when you start again, they've all been delivered or something like that. There's quite... Sorry, I mean, to be honest, like I say, you should have played by now, but that's not really a spoiler at this point. But there is quite a few other endings. And like I say, there might be an achievement or an ending for waiting there 4 hours at the baby and just minimise the motherfucker and leave it there. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's right or not, but... Like I said, there's quite a few other endings and stuff to engage, so you could definitely get another hour or two from what I've done. No, maybe another hour or something like that, because it makes it sound like, well, why don't you go do it then? It's like, no, because it's like I say, I like the blind stuff, and, you know, it's not blind no more that I've read up the endings and stuff like that. I mean, like I say, I could go hunt them down, but, you know, I'm happy with how it is. You know, I'm happy with how it is. I'm not really an achievement hunter. I'm not like... You know, go back and hunt all the extra content. I mean, that's what this game is, really. It's like, play the game, don't read anything up about it, then return to it after you've gotten as much as what you think you're going to get out of it, which is what I thought I'd done. Go back and find the, quote, Easter egg type endings. Not really Easter eggs, but the less obvious ones. The ones that you weren't going to find yourself naturally. Obviously, some people did, but, you know, you thought, well, you know, I mean, some of them, like, you ain't gonna find yourself. I think one of, like, the cardboard box one involves you, like, going so far and then the phone rings in your office and you go back to the phone. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Should we go look? I mean, we'll go look. We'll just, I don't think I'd, like I said, I'm not sure how you trigger it. So I don't think I'll get it to trigger.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
So how far before doors close? See, his computer's there as well, look. And you can turn them off. Like I said, there's something involving turning the computers off. See, look, the computers are off here now. No one's turned back on again, though. Something to do with turning the computers off. You see what I mean? I'd only read about the endings and, like, some stuff that people were talking about and shit. I'd not actually, like, researched how to do them. Like I said, maybe you gotta go so far forward and then the phone rings and then you can get back into the office or something like that. Who knows? I mean, there's a phone on the desk there. You can't answer it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, he didn't. Oh, you bastard! He pushed me out. No, you see, like I say, I don't know how I get that bloody ending. It's like I was saying, I feel kind of bad because it's like, you could say, well, no, just go research the endings and do the other ones. It's like, no, but, you know, leave something in case you had watched this and you go, actually, yeah, I'm going to put that at some point. At least you've got something to go for as well. Because, like I say, it's a weird game. It's a very rare kind of, like, you need to play it yourself, really, and then watch stuff. So, I'm not going to play it just on the principle of that. I am not going to do absolutely every ending. So, there is still, like, at least 5 or 6 endings. Maybe 5 or something like that. Maybe 6, I'm not sure. Where it's like, well, what didn't do that? I watched this thing and then I bought it, but I didn't do this, and so I'm gonna go do them now because I want to see them. So if that's how you did do it, at least there's still something new for you to go and look for. And I'll go find them myself at some point. I'll think, yeah, I'm gonna go find those other few endings, stuff like that, but not recorded. I'm gonna deliberately, in honor of the game, no, like, in respect for the game and how it is, I'm gonna deliberately leave some endings unfound. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And no, oh, bullshit, OTG, bullshit. No, see, no, that's what I mean. Shut up. That's what I mean. Because I do really stand, and there's very, like I said, there's very few games that are like that, and like I said, this is one of them, and I really do stand by, like, you should play it and then watch it. So, on that principle, I'm not gonna get every single ending. Not on camera, anyway. I am gonna get every single ending, but not on camera. But it's like I was saying, like, it really did feel when I stopped earlier on today, like, that was the maximum I was gonna get out of the game without researching, and sure enough, it was. And shit, even though I skimmed over the list of endings, and some people are talking about it, like that phone ending and the computer stuff, I still don't know how you bloody get them. you do have to really, like, read up how somebody's done it or watch how somebody's done it. Good old internet. Like, I mean, obviously some people figure it out, but then the information spreads, you know. It might only be like 1 in 100 people that figured out the phone type. I don't know if that's even an end in the phone stuff. It might only be 1 in 100 or 1 in 200 people at most that figured it, maybe even less, that figured out, like, all the computer stuff and where all these computers were and turning them off and shit. I mean, I'll be looking for them now, but I never noticed that in the 3 hours that I played on today. Didn't even notice about the computers and be able to turn them on. The first time I noticed that you could turn the computers on and off was, I think, in the museum. Lots of stuff. But that like I say, in a nutshell, a fantastic game that is very much worth playing. But do play it before watching stuff. Well, I don't know why I even say that now, because you've either already played it and then watched this, or you've watched this and you're like, fuck you, OTG, I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna buy it. So whatevers. So it doesn't really matter either way I say it, does it? Not really. Say it enough times. God, I've said it like fucking 5 times in the last 40 minutes or something like that. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you've either done one or the other by now. Oh, well. Can't say I didn't warn you at least, anyway. But I really did enjoy that. That was great. Like I say, I've a quality experience and an indie diamond. Very, very good. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. See you, dudes.